and welcome to Founder Friday, where we sit down with the founders who are currently taking part in the RevTech Labs, Fintech, and Insurtech Accelerator program. My name is Ashley Everett. I am the program director here at RevTech Labs, and joining me today is Paul Chafe, the co-founder and chief technology officer from Dandelion Networks. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So to get us started for today, why don't you tell me a little bit about Dandelion and what it is that you're currently working on?
So we're a blockchain network company, although our technology is not actually a blockchain in a strictly technical sense of the word. We have a new paradigm for processing distributed transactions, and it's much more efficient than what's out there. So that's our value add. We've been working on it for 18 months in this iteration, and it's been nearly 3 years actually since I came up with the core ideas.
So let's start there. Can you tell me more about how Dandelion came to be?
Sure. So I was involved in Bitcoin in 2011, and unfortunately not sufficiently involved that I now have my own yacht, but. And I got into blockchain again in 2017, right before it really exploded. And at that time, some of the core problems with Bitcoin and with the follow-on technology everyone's been pursuing, which is the proof of stake technology, had become very apparent. And I started thinking about what is a better way to do this? How can we solve this problem of distributed trust in a way that doesn't take vast amounts of electrical power, or that doesn't simply enable those who are in early to profit the most. And my background is physics and computer engineering, and so looking at it from a physical standpoint, we came up with a new way of doing business, and we've been working on it ever since.
Wow, that's incredible. Can you tell me a little bit about the team and how that came together?
Sure. So I teach in the blockchain program here at George Brown College in Toronto. And basically, I do that because it gives me access to the best students from that program, and then we hire out of the program. So we've been doing that, I guess, for 3 semesters now. And that's our technical team. And then on the finance side, I'm working with Alex Monroe, who's my co-founder. He's got 5 VC funds behind him, 3 that he raised himself, very experienced in deep technology, which is what we are. And so it's working really well.
Wow, that's great. Let's talk a little bit about competitors. Do you have some competitors out there, and how does what you're doing at Dandelion differ from that?
Well, so anything that serves to provide a trust platform to complete transactions is at least potentially a competitor. So, the easy ones to name are Visa, MasterCard, EuroPay, that kind of system, bank cards, remittance systems like Western. So it's a really big space, but everyone's kind of subdivided it. So what we really offer are efficiencies in that space. So anyone who I might name as a competitor could also be a partner, because of course they're looking for those efficiencies.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about some ways that Dandelion can make an exceptional difference.
Well, I guess the real core issue in the globe today, at least as far as finance goes, is there's 1.7 billion people who just don't have any access to banking. There are places in this world where barter is still the way things get done. It's extremely inefficient. And when they do try to access banking, the cost of the banking relative to the value of the transaction is tremendously high. So it's very expensive for them, and in many cases, it's a monopoly market, so they don't have a lot of options. We offer, because we're so fast and efficient, we offer the ability for these people to complete transactions at the same way you and I would with tap and pay, and we don't really have to think about the the back end cost that comes off the transaction.
Right. That's great. So now you said that this started roughly about 18 months ago. Dandelion came out about 18 months ago.
Yeah, so well, I mean, so we got our core team together about 18 months ago. That was the first tranche of students at George Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been working on the overall concept and technology for some time before that. We work also with Cybersecurity Research Lab at Ryerson University here in Toronto. And so Dr. Adi Mashetan, it's kind of my sounding board, and we work through a lot of the technical details of how to make that work. And that's been about 3 years.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit more about the last few 18 months when you really kind of started to bring some team on to help expand. What traction have you seen over those last 18 months?
Well, we've got a great deal of interest. So we're talking to some decently large names. We still have to get that into an inked deal, and there's a couple of different approaches that our technology is applicable for. So if you think of it as a jet turbine as compared to a steam engine, there's a lot of new applications that you can apply that to, and a lot of old applications. So it's just a matter of finding the right fit. So we've got a couple of big banks here. We're talking to very early, I have to stress. We're talking to a couple of the educational institutions here about sort of captive card systems that would be a test bed for us, and that's kind of what we're looking at.
Okay, that's great. So now you're part of the RevTech Labs Accelerator program. Can you tell me a little bit about what drew you to RevTech Labs and what it is that you hope to get out of a program like this?
Well, RevTech is, I didn't know this. It was Alex who found you guys and got us in the program. But as I'm sure you know, North Carolina is kind of where all the back ends for the big banks actually reside, where all the technical stuff happens. And you are very well connected in that space, and that's exactly who we need to be talking to. So, we're learning a lot as we go through the program and making some really good contacts, and it's been excellent.
That's great. So I always like to end these sessions on kind of a looking forward. I know it's always hard to kind of predict, especially in today's world, where you want to be and where you think you'll be. But where do you expect or hope Dandelion to be in a year's time from now after going through a program like this?
Well, we've got our core technology built, so the theoretical problems are solved. We're now just it's engineering problems, and our core technology works. The add-ons to that are coming on over the next year. So the smart contract capability, transaction stacking capability, a bunch of other nice to haves. And in the meantime, we're looking to get these pilot projects going with several partners. So a year from now, I'd be happy to have a successful pilot up and running, the whole platform humming along, and a whole bunch more in the pipeline.
Well, that's great, Paul. I'm looking forward to seeing that all happen for you.
Oh, thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time today to tell us a little bit more about yourself and about Dandelion and kind of sharing that whole story with us.
Perfect. Thanks ever so much.
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, I will provide information on Dandelion Networks and where you can learn more and connect with Paul and Alex. And then until next week, guys, stay safe and stay healthy.